This is the salary header page from which we can create the structure, salary structure. We can create the multiple structure over here. Now let's start by creating it. So we just need to define the name over here. Then is our structure active or not? So we can select it here. Now previously we had created the slabs and the payroll headers. So in the payroll header we had two types. One is income header and another is deduction header. So all the income headers are listed over here and all the deduction headers are listed over here. So let's start with the income header, in which let's start with the basic. So is my basic calculated on the actual or on the fixed value? Okay, actual means the gross value. So on the gross, what are the percentages? So we can define it here. And for the fixed value, we just need to define the amount over here. Okay, currently I am using on the actual and the percentages are 50. Next we have allowance. So is my allowance calculated on the actual means gross? It is calculated on the fixed value or the fixed amount, then the variable, and then the basic. So let's talk about the variable. Okay, so organization may provide two types of allowances. One is HRA, one is special allowance. Okay, so let's assume that in the organization structure, the basic is 50%. Okay, the HRA is 20%, and the bonus is 20% on the basic. Okay, so let's assume that there are 100 rupees. Okay, 100 rupees is earning. So based on that, basic will be 50 rupees, the HRA will be 20 rupees, and the bonus will be 10 rupees. Okay, so 50 plus 20 plus 10, which are 80 rupees total. Now we do not have the exact percentages for the special allowance, so we can add it like this. Okay. Now in the sum amount, for the sum values, if basic increases, then the increase in the bonus can complete our gross earning. Okay, can fulfill the gross earning rupees. Okay, so for that we can add the variable. Okay, so the remaining part from the gross earning will be considered for the special allowance or for the variable allowance. So we can add it over here. Now currently selecting as actual. Okay, the percentages are 50%. Now there is option for the tax exempted allowance. So if this allowance is exempted in the tax, then we can select the investment type. So under which section it is exempted. Okay, it can be ATC, ATT. So we can select it the investment type over here. Now there is bonus. So in the bonus we have three types. One is actual, then the fixed value, another is basic. Okay, so we can define it here. Okay, now let's assume that it's calculated on the basic, then the 10%. Okay, now there is the upper limit. So let's talk about the upper limit. So let's assume that the basic is 10,000 rupees and we define the upper limit here. Okay, like the 100 rupees. So maximum the bonus will be paid to the employee will be 100 rupees. Okay, so based on that we can define the maximum upper limit for the bonus if basic is much more than the percentages. Okay, so we can define the upper limit here. Now there is considering ESIC, means when calculating the ESIC gross, do we need to consider the bonus also in that or not? So we can select it here. Now there is paid outside payroll, means gratuity is the type of bonus which is paid outside of the payroll. So we can select it here. Now there is the return frequency, is our bonus paid month by month or say quarterly or say yearly. So we can select it here. Now there is incentive type. So it is same as the basic. It is calculated on the actual or on the fixed value. So we can define it here. Now in the deduction header, we have type for all the slabs, which is PT, LWF, ESIC, TDS, and EPF. Okay, let's start with the PT. So we just need to select the payroll header for the PT and the slab from here. Now the LWF, then the LWF slab, the ESIC slab, then the TDS. So in the TDS, we do not need to define the slab over here, as uh, it can differ from the employee. Like employee A is in the old resume and the employee B is in the new resume. So we can select these slabs in the employee master's payroll tab. Okay. Now currently I'm selecting STS and then the EPF. So we just need to select EPF slab. Now, previously we have talked about the EPF slab. So, in that there was the type which was calculated on the actual. So, for the actual, we can define it here. So, is actual value is on the basic or it contains allowances also. So, we can select it here. Okay. Currently, I'm selecting as basic. Now, we can define or add the description for this slab here. Okay. So, let's create it. Now this is the structure. Okay, we can even select or change the status for the active inactive from here for the payroll salary header or salary structure.